Good afternoon everybody and welcome to Herronbrook Farm Kitchen. It is fantastic to have you here as always, and today we're going to be making focaccia. Italian focaccia stuffed with olives. In fact, we're going to be making this one. So let's just cut into it. Nice crisp outside. You've got the lovely salty crust there. And if you can see inside, you've got the classic focaccia, slightly uneven bubbles, beautiful crisp outside. You've got a little bit of olive oil oozing out there. I literally can't wait to start eating this for my lunch. I'm going to take you through every stage of the process, and in 4 hours time, this will be baked. So let's jump in. Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients that you're going to need. I've got everything already weighed out and laid out in front of me. You are going to need 400 grams of strong white flour. We like to use Italian Tipo 00, which we get from Ship to Mill, because it's awesome, but ordinary white bread flour is going to be just as good. I would normally weigh that straight out into the bowl of the stand mixer, but just so you can see it, I've put it in the bowl. So we'll go straight in with that. You are also going to need some semolina. We like to use organic semolina from Ship to Mill, but any semolina will do, and you're going to need 100 grams of that. Next up is sea salt, 10 grams of that straight in. And once you've got all of those in, get your trusty spatula and just give it a bit of a mix up to combine all of those ingredients together. You're going to need 10 grams of yeast. We like to use this fresh Hirondelle Baker's yeast, as you know. Just crumble that into the water, 330 grams of water. So this is going to be quite a wet dough, and we'll see what that means a bit later on when we start to mix it. But crumble that in there, and use your clever mini whisk to give that a whisk. And as I've said before, you don't need to smash the hell out of it. You just literally want to get it dissolved. Just leave that a moment to do that. And then the final ingredient is olive oil, 30 grams of olive oil. That goes in at the end of the mixing, so I'll put that to one side. It is worth actually using quite a good quality olive oil for this, because the flavour of that is going to go right through the bread, right through the recipe. So that's all nicely dissolved now. Spilt it again, always do that when I'm filming, never do it when I'm not filming. Straight in with that, and we'll take it over to the stand mixer and get it mixing with the dough hook. So as you can see, that's now in the stand mixer, ready to go, and as per normal, we just bring it together on a slow speed, which is what we're doing now. It'll take a couple of minutes just to get that dough all brought together, and then we can increase the speed. So as you can see, that's come together beautifully now into a single ball. So we'll just increase the speed, and we'll let that mix for about 7 minutes. Okay, so the timer's just gone off for 7 minutes, and as you can see, soft and silky smooth. We're going to go in now with about half of the olive oil. So there's 30 grams of olive oil in there, about half, and just pour it in down the side. And what you'll see is it really struggles to get incorporated to start with. But if you just leave it alone, let the stand mixer do its thing, in a minute or so that will be incorporated, and after 2 minutes we can then go in with the other half. So it just started to slightly break apart there, but it will incorporate eventually. So that's been mixing for about 2 minutes since we put in the olive oil, and you can see it's all gone in now, so we'll just put in the other half and leave it for another couple of minutes so that it's all combined. Okay, so we're all done, so we'll get the machine turned off and get it turned out. Okay, so we've finished mixing. As you can see, got it off the stand mixer. This is a very sticky dough, as you can probably see here. So I'm going to do this a bit differently to usual, still using the scraper. Just clean down the dough hook. This will stick to your fingers. So what we do, rather than, if you've watched before, I turn it out onto the table, onto some oil, shape it into a ball. All I'm going to do this time, I've already oiled the bowl, I am literally just going to scrape it out like that and drop it straight into the bowl without touching it. Get the last bits out like that. It doesn't need to be shaped into a ball to prove properly, but you can just use your scraper just to bring it together. You want to avoid sharp peaks because they might dry out. So there you go, in the bowl. We're going to cover this with cling film and leave it to rise for about 2 hours, and then we'll come back and shape it. So like a complete idiot, I'm afraid I forgot to turn on the microphone for this bit, so it's me narrating over the top. After 2 hours, you need to turn the dough out onto your lightly floured surface, shape it into a nice tight ball, and then really importantly, leave it to relax for about 10 minutes, which is really going to help when you come to shape it later on. The 10 minutes is just enough time for me to make a quick cappuccino and run it over to the barn for Jackie. Okay, welcome back. Back from the barn. Jackie enjoyed her cappuccino, so always good to do that. Hands are washed and we're ready to get on to the next stage. So the dough, as you can see, well I hope you can see, has relaxed beautifully. What we're going to do now is we're just going to shape it into a rough rectangle, and I'm going to put it in this tin, which is how we tend to cook it, because it's the right sort of size and shape, and it works. If we were Italian, we're not Italian, then we wouldn't give it a sort of rectangular shape. We'd flatten it down, and we'd probably use something like this tray here, and just put it on the tray and just bake it on that. But I'm going to do it in the tin because we prefer it that way. So I need my magic scraper, and I'm going to need a little bit more flour. And then just unstick it from the table, turn it over, and you can just shape it out using your fingers like this. And you can stretch it. If you want to cheat, if you're finding it difficult, you can use a rolling pin. Italians look away now because they would never do that. But this is sort of the point of leaving it to relax for 10 minutes, because it will make it a lot easier to shape out and get it ready to go in the tin. If you don't do the 10 minutes, you'll find it constantly springs back. So that's about ready to go. Bring the tin over so you can see it, and then literally we just plop it in the tin like that, and I just press all over it with my fingers. So there it is in the tin. We're going to cover this with cling film and leave it for about an hour, hour and a half. Okay, we're back. You can probably hear the oven's on. We're preheating the oven at 220 degrees centigrade. As you can see, if I just get the cling film off, get rid of that, this has puffed up beautifully, lots of little bubbles and all of that sort of thing going on, which is great. What we're going to do now is we're going to put in some olives, just cheap olives from the supermarket. I've already got some in the bowl. We're going to put on some sea salt. These are sea salt crystals. Just sprinkle them over the top. And then we're going to drizzle the whole thing with olive oil, and then it's going straight in the oven. So you don't have to use olives. You can use rosemary, which is the sort of classic focaccia thing, but we just love it with olives. So all you're going to do is literally just slightly randomly stick the olives in and push them down with your finger so that they nestle into that dough. And this is quite boring, so let's speed it up. So there you go, olives all stuck in. Next job is to drizzle a little bit of olive oil all over it. Like that. And then we'll go in with some of this salt. And you want to be quite generous with the salt, because it's what gives it its real character. So nice bit of salt over the top, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and stick this in the oven. So as I said, we've got a nice hot oven, 220 degrees, straight in. Hit it with some steam, or if you haven't got a steam injector, you can just spray in with your spray bottle. We showed you that on the last video. And then I'm going to turn the temperature down to 200 degrees. I'm going to hit it again with another hit of steam, and then 20 minutes on the timer, and we just start that. So I'll come back in 20 minutes and we'll get it out of the oven. You can take a look. Okay, so we're about 8 minutes into the bake, and as you can see, that is puffing up absolutely beautifully. Lots of odd shapes. It's starting to go brown on top, little bubbles forming, absolutely gorgeous. We'll get it out in about 12 minutes and take a look. Okay, just a few more seconds to go, and then we can get it out. There it goes. So do just watch out for steam when you open your oven. If you get that, you will get a bit of a blast of steam. There it is. Look at that, can't tip it up too much because of all the olive oil. Just turn the oven off and then we'll get it turned out and we'll have a look. Okay, there we go. Absolutely beautiful, look at that. So, get rid of the gloves. In fact, keep one glove on. This is very hot, so we'll just tease it out of the tin like that. With the tin. What you do need to be careful of is, because this has got a lot of hot oil in, just do be careful that it doesn't splash on you, because it really is very hot. So, absolutely stunning, beautiful focaccia, nice rectangular shape, which we like. I've really enjoyed making this today. This is one of our absolute favourite things to have for Sunday lunch. This is sort of my interpretation of an Italian focaccia. We've got loads of olives and olive oil in there, loads of salt on the top. It's absolutely delicious and it smells brilliant. I hope you've enjoyed watching today. This is the third recipe that we've done. We started with the simple loaf, the simple white loaf, then we did milk loaf, and now we've done this quick focaccia. This literally takes 4 hours from starting it first thing in the morning and then having it on your lunch table at, say, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you've enjoyed it, please do hit subscribe, smash that like button, and do leave us some comments, ask us some questions, or most importantly, do tell us what else you'd like me to make in the kitchen, what other bread, etc. I've had a request offline, not on YouTube, to do sourdough. I was going to leave that a little bit and do that a little bit later because it's a little bit more advanced. I've had another request to make a Big Mac burger bun, which is what I think I'm going to do next. But if you want me to make something and show you how to do it here in the kitchen, just leave a comment below saying what you'd like me to make, and I promise you we'll get it as either the next one or the one after that. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.